You know, I have to first say, it's just too obvious how incapable the ANC government is. And I don't want to be another drag them down. Just, it's so obvious, you know, there's no willingness to try to help fix neighboring countries which are broken, and they're clearly broken, or there wouldn't be that influx of people coming to South Africa to survive. So we've gone with this, we'll allow our neighbors to sort their own thing out, but they come here, and everywhere you see it's Operation Dudula, and there's Abahambe, and it's a rough place to be. You know, these are Africans, these are people that should be our brothers, these are people that we should be visiting their countries regularly, because their economies have been fixed over the last 31 years. As we became a united Southern Africa and pooled our skills and pooled our resources and pooled everything that we have as a Southern African part of the continent. We've done nothing about that in 31 years. So I think they're not serious about trying to manage that. They've shown think about it. 31 years, where is the collective get together annually, twice a year, for these countries in terms of trying to develop something that will benefit us? Instead, we're in Russia, we're in China, we're in Iran. Why are we there? Why are we not in Southern Africa? Isn't that where we're supposed to be building from? We've got one of the biggest, strongest, best economies sitting right in Soweto, South Africa. Strongest little city on the continent, probably, per capita, per square meter, however you want to measure it. But we're doing nothing with those market spaces. All those people still travel to town, go and do their shopping in town. None of that money goes back into Soweto. That massive economy is suffering. All of those massive Kasi economies are suffering. And they should have 31 years later have been able to have been provided with the right support structures to have traded their way out of that proudly. That's not happened. So I don't think the government's too serious about anything, and always being exposed just from a capability point of view, and we've allowed terrible corruption to just continue to fill the government services. If I'm in charge and I've got control over a point, hit me with something, is what's become the norm, and I remember many years ago traveling to Zimbabwe, and that was the norm. Went through a roadblock, whatever it was a norm. Go to Mozambique, travel through to northern Mozambique. What have you got? Whether I'm thirsty or whatever it is, there's always room for. And that's a terrible fact that's become a norm for us. And that's a norm that the government or the ANC has allowed to creep in. The opportunity around foreigners, they are here. If you want them to be able to go home and help their economies, you need to help to make that economy start to do the right thing. You want to tell us how these other countries north of us are doing on an international stage, but you don't give a damn about the fact that Mnangagwa took over from Robert Mugabe and nothing changed. There's never been change. Why is that economy not absolutely pumping at the moment? Why haven't they managed to move forward? Right, so people still get here, end of the year comes, they all head home because they want to be at home. They want to take their little bit of money that they've made and they want to go home and enjoy their Christmas there. And it's quite weird. There's no fear. They'll be on a bus and they'll be back in no time. And that's exactly how it happens. Big congestion, but congestion gets filtered through and everybody's back in South Africa. Why didn't that opportunity get utilized to get fixed? First of all, the border and where people can get in and get out hasn't been fixed. Geez, I remember Patricia de Lille at some point being responsible for it and having really big plans and good ideas, but as far as I understand, we've still got people walking in and out of our country at the moment. So not a lot you can do about that if the infrastructure is not strong enough to stop you from walking in. But let's go to the walking in and rather the willingness to walk out. Fix the economies that are there. Create partnerships. Make those work better. Allow us to fix our relationships as Southern African inhabitants of Southern Africa, Southern African citizens. This divide line that is there, it's wrong, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And survival and no money is causing crime in our country. I don't think people come here with the idea of, hey, I'm going to need to go and get involved in crime. We've got a 37, 38, 39, 40% unemployment happening, bashing into the youth of this country. So, you know, crime and crime statistics are going up, not because of the fact that people want to go and be criminals, because the economy is that stuffed up. So you could have used this opportunity to get better control of who's coming in and who's coming out. And I mean, here's just a small idea. You could very easily go and say any and everybody that is in this country legally needs to come forward with a guarantee. Go and make a moratorium or a memorandum, whatever it is that it is required. But allow people to be able to come and get themselves papers that allow them, let's call it right up to 24 months of being allowed to be in South Africa. But that on your birthday month, and I say birthday month because you don't want a congestion date that everybody's got to get out. So use a birthday month. Everybody wants to go home when it comes to their birthday. Allow them to be able to go home on their birthday, and from there, 2 years on, must be able to apply and be given the correct papers to come into South Africa or not. But some means of not being able to create chaos, have people wanting to stop foreigners from going into schools or into hospitals or any of the services that we provide. Let's be a little bit more considerate about why they're here. Yes, we're suffering. Change the government, I can promise you we won't suffer anywhere near as much. And so too will that mood amongst us as South Africans improve immediately. You know, you often hear people saying, oh, South Africans are such loving people, and the Southern African guys are all such wonderful people. And I look around me and I think, geez, it would be really nice if we were doing that with and for each other, rather than the rest of the world feels we're really fantastic people.